Hi there, this is Ronnie, and Ted Carr made a video about the Canada Fruit Festival, and he was basically saying that he's going to stop organising the Canada Fruit Festival. So this could be the last year. So if you're interested in going, you don't have to be in Canada. If you're in the west coast of America, it's the closest festival to you, apart from the one-day San Diego Fruit Fest, which you can check out. But if you're anywhere in that area, you should definitely head along. And he made a good video about it all. My experience at the Canada Fruit Festival last year was that I was surprised at what a beautiful place it was, and what an amazing climate and temperature and atmosphere. It was on an Indian, like an Indian reservation. I don't know what you call it, Indian land, a kind of a spiritual piece of Indian land. There was certain areas we weren't allowed to go to, but beside this amazing lake called Okanagan Lake, which I like because it's one of the only other lakes in the world that has a monster. And in Scotland, we're famous for having a monster in Loch Ness. So I like that connection. I'd actually read about that lake when I was a child. So I loved the fact when I learned there, when that memory came back. It's a monster called Ogopogo. And the weather, the climate at that time of year is so amazing. That whole region, the Okanagan, is such a beautiful place. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Ted's Instagram pictures and stuff. His family have a cabin there, right on the lake. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful place. And one of my highlights from last year was turning up early, meeting Ted at the maybe in Vancouver or near there, and going to his place in Port Moody, and then we drove up to the Okanagan, and we were stopping off getting fruit and stuff, and we stopped, and the places we were stopping, the fruit was just amazing. And we were going through the Okanagan, which is like this fruit region of Canada. It's just, I've never been to a place that's like, this is the fruit region. Like everywhere else is like, they grow fruit and they grow other things, but this was like the fruit region. And it was amazing. There was places called Peach. There's a place called Peachland. I want to get a T-shirt of that place or whatever, or maybe I'll live there someday or something. Peachland, just beautiful. And then you stop off at a fruit stand, and it had an entire orchard behind it, and they were getting fruit from this orchard behind the shop, and you could go and pick, and it was just like, whenever you're in an orchard, it's like the next level life experience for a fruitarian anyway. It's like all the synapses of the brain, everything turns on, it all turns on. It's just amazing. It's an amazing experience being in the orchard. Beautiful. So it's this beautiful environment, this beautiful place, this beautiful part of the world. And we go to Ted's cabin, and nice little cabin right beside the lake, and gradually, and some of our friends are already there. Friendships that we've made at other fruit festivals, basically. Some of the speakers that were going to be there, and it seemed like every day new people were showing up. It was getting a little bit crazy. Far too many people showed up, and then, the volunteers were showing up too early, and then there was just way too many people there. But it was fun, and we were swimming in the lake, and we were phoning people, trying to get the last people signed up for the festival. And it was beautiful. We were trying to remember, we had to keep on going out to get food and stuff. There was a day that me and Ted went out driving, picking up things, buying stuff, and we parked the car and we looked up, and we were outside a building that said BC Tree Fruits, and it was just too much of a coincidence. So we just went in and we said, can we speak to someone? We're doing this fruit festival, we'd like to, and we got to, they let us have a meeting with like the marketing guy. It was pretty cool. And we were talking about what we were doing and everything, and it was just like going with the flow of things. And then went up to the festival, and it was pretty stressful. I won't go into a few of the details, but there was some stress. Maybe we'll go into some of the details in the future. some of the crazy stories, some of the funny things. I won't go into it, but it was just everything was brilliant. The weather was great, and then other people started to show up. Some of the presenters showed up, and the tribe was just gathering. And then the next day, the people were showing up, and the food showed up, and everything, and we're trying to make this happen, and we have the music on the first night, and the getting to know you sessions, and everything. And I don't know if it was day 2 or day 3, out of the blue, we've been there for a week, beautiful weather every day, just beautiful weather every day. This storm out of nowhere turns up, like the worst storm, completely out of nowhere, and it's raining, and me and a few guys are, for some reason we were near the stage, because we had a stage for music, we had this entire big stage for music, and the rain starts hitting through into the stage, and the guys that are running the stage, they start running up, and they've got tarpaulins and things, and they're holding them up, protecting the stage, protecting all their equipment. Like they just had a whole plan in place, and started going to work. And so a few of us were helping out with this stage and everything. Then we were all getting soaked, and it was so funny. Like it was just really funny. And then the storm went, but it was it was replaced by this like smokiness. It was misty, smoky. Basically, in that part of the world, it's so dry at that time of year that there's forest fires and stuff in certain places. And so there was like forest fires, and not where we were, but there was forest fires in the vicinity, and this storm had blown all the smoke. So now we've went from perfect weather to smoke, like bleak, wet, and everyone's huddled into the tent, right? Into the big tent, and like tents had blown away. Someone had a big watermelon inflatable thing that had blown away. It was really funny, you know. It wasn't funny at the time, but looking back, it was kind of funny. Kind of crazy, kind of funny, you know. And at the end of the day, it happened. And so many people have a dream and an idea of doing things, and never take step one, you know. But it happened, and by the end of it, like some amazing moments, especially with the music. When the bands came on and played, there was just some magical moments. The band that finished the whole festival, called Embargo or Bombargo, they were just amazing. They were like rock stars, and their set was fantastic. Everyone was dancing, everyone was jumping around. It was fantastic. And it was so I'm looking forward to all this again. I'm looking forward to this all again this year. There was like 250 people there, and the food was pretty exceptional. I've never really had stone fruit, especially things like plums. The plum, like I never enjoyed plums, but the plums were fantastic. We got like this organic, fresh pressed apple juice that was amazing, like really amazing stuff. Obviously peaches. I don't know if we got nectarines, apricots. The apricots were really good, I think. And they were putting tahini in all the dressings and stuff, so that was all good. And it was just, you know, it was a party, it was a festival. I think there was a lot of great talks. Looking back, my personal regrets, I suppose, surrounding. I mean, I was in the background helping out, but I think Rovana and Elise playing a part is something that always adds a bit of a sour note to it, and always kind of will, because they didn't really need to be part of it. And the reason that I'm saying that is that we already had like 150 people signed up before it was announced that they were coming. I'm pretty sure of that. Maybe Elise was on, but Rovana wasn't. And I met Rovana, I've been around her, but she wouldn't have been, because she wasn't Raw anymore. I kind of thought, why have her, But we kind of thought she might make an impact. She did. I don't know if she really promoted it that much. Like nothing, no bitterness or whatever. But I don't know if she really did. Especially for the size of her audience, I don't know if that many people came for her. But that's fair enough. That's life. But the fact that those two went back to eating fish and stuff, and the fact that both of them were talking about all these health issues and how they weren't feeling good, I'm like, you were speaking at our festival. What health issues? Why didn't you say to us you weren't well enough to speak? Why didn't you tell us these things? Why were you hiding this? Elise was talking about mental clarity. I'm like, well, what kind of mental clarity do you need to speak in front of 250 people? So that, I mean, there was a whole film made of the festival, and Elise and Rovana are in it, and then can't really use it the next year because it's like it kind of it looks bad, sort of thing. So it was great to meet Johnny Juicer. He's an awesome guy. Melissa, Absolutely Mel, she was really cool, really nice. Doug Graham was there. He was really helping a lot of people. Doug is a really helpful guy to a lot of people. Who else was there? John Kohler, I think he's back this year. John was a bit, looking to make a looking to make a video talking about all the bad side, the negative thing. I'm not a big fan of that kind of behaviour, and it's a shame that he's done that. I don't think that's the greatest thing to do with such a kind of small community. Like, this isn't it's not a corporate event. There was nothing sold at it. It wasn't like, it wasn't that kind of thing. So, don't really like that style. And it was a shame that Chris couldn't make it. Melissa was there. So it was a great experience. For me, I was sort of helping out with it, so it was something I was involved in the background, and you have all these kind of friends and friendships, and all these tensions can arise when you get into these situations. That's the dangerous thing of doing these things. And for example, we had a friend that came, but his kind of made a mistake, and when he came into the country, he had to leave. He didn't get to go to the festival. He kind of fell out with us. There's things like that happened that were bad. So maybe the full story of all that will come out in time. Maybe it never has to. I hope it still kind of lives on a little bit as a historical event that'll be written about and talked about, and maybe someone will take it over. Basically, Ted is saying that he wants someone else to take it over and kind of do the organisation part of it, I suppose. So I hope something continues. I loved that part of the world. I'm excited to be going back. I've got my plane ticket already. Man, am I looking forward to that. I am so looking forward to the Canada Fruit Fest. And you probably heard me on this channel go on about fruit festivals. They just became my passion, you know. Maybe I'm one of the few people, but when I saw the videos, the thing that got me into going to these events was Woodstock, and I was watching Durian Rider and different people like that, and the videos for Woodstock were showing up on YouTube. So I don't know, that's how I found out about it, or don't know exactly, but I started to watch those videos of the event, and it just looked I still love those videos. I still look back at those, and it's like a magical thing. And it took me a long time to make the decision to go. I remember that. It took me quite a long time actually to decide to go, and I bought the ticket. And I went, and it was the start of a new life for me, I guess, you know. And it's been a big, long journey since then. I've changed a lot of things in my life have changed. And the people around me, like the people I've met and everything. So life is just totally different now because of the people and the networks of people that I've met at these events and the experiences. And the sad thing is that running events is quite a hard thing to do as a part-time thing. I've done it for a number of years part-time. In fact, potentially one of the most successful years of the UK Fruit Fest was when I was working on it the least. I don't really know why that was. I was working like nearly 60 hours a week in another job, and the UK Fruit Fest like still went really well. I think I had help from Sophie that year, and that was maybe why it went so well. But it is a hard thing to do. I would like to try and step in and keep the Canada Festival going. Maybe we can get a team of people together, take a bit of strain off Ted. He mentioned that it's an all-year thing. I don't think it needs to be an all-year thing. But we need to try and, I don't know, I mean, I love these events. They don't have to keep going. They don't have to keep going just because I like them. But it's special. It's interesting. It's kind of interesting to me though. I remember when Woodstock was going to close, and it was one of those things where I was kind of sad about it, but I was also interested in seeing what the future was. And that's how I've always felt when I've left Woodstock. Like, I love it, or the Canada Fruit Fest or UK Fruit Fest, like I love them. But I'm not thinking I'm so sad to leave. I'm thinking I'm so glad that I was here, and I get to take this and bring it forward into the next stage of my life, you know. And that's what excites me about all that stuff. Is taking it forward, bringing it into the next phase of life. I think it's the thing with the fruit festivals. It's so kind of unclear what it is, in a way. And all of us who are part of fruit festivals and run them and have put them on, we are so bamboozled as to why it's not a complete no-brainer for loads of people to go. Like, I'm flabbergasted. I don't understand why Woodstock wouldn't be way over capacity every year. I mean, I understand certain reasons why. I think they don't really do any promotion basically, so that makes a thing. But I think it's unclear to people what it really is. I think it's hard for people to understand what it is and understand the value in it. Like, most people are probably going to go on a holiday this year. This is the best holiday you can go on if you are interested in a raw vegan fruitarian thing. And if you are a raw vegan fruitarian, like, why would you be going anywhere else? Like, it's really hard to fathom to me. Um, I mean, it probably works out cheaper than almost anything that you would do, and you got all the amazing fruit there, great people, experiences. It's hard for me to work out. So when someone like a Mike Arnstein or a Ted Carr puts on something like that, out of pure givingness, desire to give, selflessness, creating something special and beautiful, especially with Mike Arnstein, who kind of came up with the concept and put so much money into it, so much time into it, and put so much of his own emotion, like his own stress and everything into it, and the people that worked with him, Yulia and Anne Osborne, like, they put so much into it, and then for the community to just kind of not shun it, but just not really support it. The raw vegan community, the fruitarian community, it's like, oh yeah, that Woodstock thing, whatever. It's just fascinating to me. Like, I know a bunch of raw vegan people in the US, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, why have you never been to Woodstock? I just don't understand it. I just do not get it. I don't get it. What else are you going to? Where else are you going? What are you doing? There is no experience better than that for you. It's made for you. That's what I'm confused by. And it maybe comes down to people having been shown exactly what it is very clearly. So when I watched those videos years ago, those videos touched me, and I understood what it was on a deep level, like on a different level. I didn't think of it as like, oh, we're going to a camp thing and we'll eat fruit and watch some lectures. I saw it as like this amazing gathering of energy, of spiritual beings. I saw it like this, and it is the energy when you show up. The feeling, the vibe, it's impossible to put into words, right? But, Ted is maybe realising that he's putting a lot of time and effort into it, and maybe it's just not for him, or it's not the thing he wants to do, or the thing that he excels at. So it might finish, you never know, with Woodstock, it might finish. With UK Fruitfest, I don't think it'll finish, but I think we might change it, right? I think it might change, because it's like we're doing 4 events in one. That's the problem. I think that's why it's hard to communicate to people what it is to some degree. It's like 4 or 5 or 6 events in one. We could do an event just with Christina. We could do an event just with Ted. We could do multiple retreats just with Doug Graham, But we bring them all together, and we could charge like $1,000, $2,000 for each one. But we bring them all together in one place. The price is so discounted you wouldn't even believe it for how much it takes to put the event on, and so much stuff is packed into it. And then people are saying to me like, yeah, why is it this expensive, and why is it that, and this isn't like, what? How come the vegan camp out is only this or that? It's like, well, this ain't the vegan camp out. Like, if that's what you want, go to the vegan camp out. Like, if you want to go to the vegan camp, or you want to go to Veg Fest, go to Veg Fest. If you want to go to a raw food expo thing or something, then go to that. But that's not what this is. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But it's many events in one. That's kind of the problem. What we could do is probably have a conference where we have the educational component. We could have a retreat where we have the food and the accommodation and that kind of stuff for the fun of it, and all of this. So we could do multiple things. And at the end of the day, the easy thing for me to be the easy thing to do would just be to make it such a simple event for myself. Don't offer accommodation, don't offer food. Just book like a maybe a conference room or or a banquet room somewhere in a hotel or something, and have a stage, have some talks, some speakers. You know, it'd be easy to do something like that. Maybe have distributors selling stuff. It'd be pretty easy to do that. But we've decided to do the super hard thing, which is make something super high quality for people at a really low price. So we're stupid, and we do it out of passion. So that's, I guess that's my response to that video. I would love to see something continue in the Okanagan, even if it was just a retreat. I would love to go there more. I'd love to have a reason to go there. And yeah, if you want to learn more about the UK Fruitfest, we've got a webinar this Saturday. You can join us. I will be interviewing Ted, and we might be talking about the Canada Fruitfest. So that's fruitfest.co.uk/webinar. Go there, register, and you'll learn about the festival. But if you just want to watch our speakers talk and ask them questions, then that's absolutely fine as well. Thank you very much for joining me today, and we'll see you in another video.